There was a time when money made noise. Coins clinked against each other in pockets. Banknotes folded, unfolded, and wore down at the edges. Paying for something meant physically handing over value and watching it leave your possession. The act was tangible, sometimes uncomfortable, often grounding. You felt the weight of what you spent. Today, that sound is gone. In cafes, parking lots, trains, street vendors, supermarkets, and online stores, money has become silent. A quick scan, a soft vibration, a notification that disappears in seconds. No physical exchange, no pause, no friction, just confirmation. Digital wallets are no longer an alternative. They are the default. Cash, once the foundation of everyday life, is increasingly treated as inconvenient, outdated, even suspicious. Some places no longer accept it. Others discourage it subtly, through social pressure and system design. At first glance, this looks like progress. Cashless systems promise speed, efficiency, hygiene, transparency, and inclusion. They fit neatly into a world obsessed with optimization. Everything faster, everything smoother, everything one click away. But beneath this surface of convenience lies a deeper transformation, one that is not merely technological, but psychological, behavioral, and structural. The real question is not whether cashless payments make life easier. The real question is what they are quietly changing about how we think, feel, and behave around money. Are digital wallets empowering us to manage our finances better? Or are they subtly reshaping our spending habits in ways we rarely notice? This is not a story about technology as a villain. It is a story about systems, incentives, and human behavior. Because when money becomes invisible, control rarely disappears. It simply moves. The explosion of cashless systems in the new normal. The rise of cashless payments did not happen overnight. It accelerated through a combination of technological readiness, institutional support, cultural shifts, and global crises. Smartphones became ubiquitous. Internet access expanded. Financial technology companies grew aggressively. Governments promoted digital transactions for efficiency and traceability. And during moments of uncertainty, contactless payments were framed as safer and more responsible. Within a few years, scanning QR codes became second nature. E-wallets integrated seamlessly with daily services. Public transportation, food delivery, online shopping, utilities, subscriptions, and even donations migrated into the same ecosystem. What was once optional became habitual. What was once novel became normal. And normalization is powerful. When a behavior becomes routine, it stops being questioned. The system fades into the background, and its assumptions become invisible. Paying digitally no longer feels like a choice. It feels like how things are done. This shift is often framed as purely practical. Cash is slow, cash is dirty, cash is inefficient. Digital systems are clean, traceable, and modern. But money is not just a tool for exchange. It is also a symbol, a psychological anchor, and a social construct. Changing its form inevitably changes how people relate to it. In a cash-based system, money occupies physical space. You see it decrease. You feel its absence. Your wallet grows thinner. These sensory cues create natural feedback loops. In a cashless system, money becomes abstract. It exists as numbers on a screen, detached from physical experience. And abstraction changes behavior. When money stops feeling real, behavioral economists and psychologists have long studied the pain, the emotional discomfort associated with spending money. When people pay with cash, this pain is immediate and tangible. Handing over banknotes creates a moment of resistance. The brain registers loss. This often leads to more cautious spending decisions. Digital payments disrupt this mechanism. When you tap a phone or scan a code, the transaction is fast and frictionless. The emotional signal is weaker. There is no physical loss to witness. The brain processes the event more like a background task than a meaningful decision. Studies consistently show that people spend more when using non-cash payment methods compared to not because they intend to, but because the psychological barrier has been lowered. Small purchases feel insignificant. Microtransactions blur together. The absence of physical cues makes it harder to track cumulative spending. 10 small digital payments in a day rarely feel like much until the balance updates. This is not accidental. Cashless systems are designed for ease, and ease, when applied to spending, often leads to overconsumption. Speed as a behavioral tool. One of the most celebrated features of digital payments is speed. Transactions that once required counting, waiting, and verification now happen in seconds. From a systems perspective, this is efficient. From a behavioral perspective, it is transformative. Speed removes reflection. In a cash transaction, there is naturally a pause. You reach for your wallet. You count the money, you feel the exchange. That pause creates space for reconsideration. Digital payments compress this process into a single action. The decision and the payment become almost indistinguishable. This encourages impulsive behavior. Impulse is not inherently bad. But when systems are optimized to reduce friction at every step, impulse becomes the default rather than the exception. This is especially significant in an environment where consumption is constantly encouraged. Advertisements are personalized. Notifications are timed, offers are targeted, and payment is effortless. The result is a system where spending feels less like a decision and more like a reflex. The illusion of control through interfaces. Digital wallets often present themselves as tools of empowerment. They show transaction histories, spending categories, monthly summaries, graphs, and charts. On the surface, this appears to offer greater financial awareness. But awareness does not automatically translate into control. Interfaces shape perception. What is highlighted feels important. What is hidden feels irrelevant. When spending is broken down into clean visuals, it can feel manageable even when totals are high. A list of transactions looks organized. Categorization creates a sense of order. This can create psychological comfort even if the underlying behavior is problematic. Moreover, many users do not actively review their transaction histories. The data exists, but it requires intentional effort to engage with it meaningfully. Having information available is not the same as processing it. In contrast, cash spending forces continuous awareness. You know how much money you have because you can see it. Digital balances are easier to ignore. Promotions, cashback, and the psychology of winning. One of the most powerful drivers of cashless adoption is promotion. Cashback, discounts, flash sales, limited time offers, gamified rewards, loyalty points. These incentives are framed as benefits for the user, and on a transactional level they are. But psychologically, they operate differently. Promotions do not reduce spending as much as they increase consumption. People are more likely to buy something they would not have purchased otherwise if it comes with the perceived reward. Cashback feels like earning money. Discounts feel like avoiding loss. Both tap into deep cognitive biases. The act of receiving something back, even a small amount, triggers satisfaction. It reframes spending as a smart move rather than a cost. This creates a feedback loop. Spending becomes associated with positive reinforcement. Over time, users may chase promotions rather than evaluate needs. The question shifts from, do I need this, to what deal am I missing? This is not accidental design. It is strategic. Algorithms and the timing of temptation. Digital payment platforms do not operate in isolation. They are embedded in ecosystems that collect data continuously. Every transaction adds to a behavioral profile. What you buy, when you buy it, how often, and under what conditions. This data feeds algorithms that optimize engagement. Promotions are not random. Notifications are not neutral. They are timed to moments when users are most likely to spend late at night, during stress, after payday, or during emotional vulnerability. The system learns patterns faster than individuals do. Over time, spending behavior becomes increasingly shaped by external cues rather than internal deliberation. This raises an important question. When spending decisions are influenced by algorithmic predictions, where does agency truly reside? Pay later and the collapse of financial time. Perhaps the most significant shift within cashless systems is the normalization of delayed payment. Buy now, pay later, installments, deferred billing, microcredit embedded seamlessly into checkout processes. These features are often marketed as financial flexibility, and for some users, they can be useful. But they also fundamentally alter the relationship between consumption and consequence. Pay later systems remove immediate cost. The pain of paying is postponed. The purchase feels almost free in the moment. This collapses financial time. The future self-absorbs the burden of present desires. When this becomes habitual, it weakens the mental link between spending and responsibility. Debt feels abstract. Repayment feels distant. Risk feels minimized. The danger is not just debt accumulation. It is the normalization of spending money that does not yet exist. A culture of continuous transactions, cashless systems thrive in environments of constant activity. Subscriptions, auto renewals, in-app purchases, background payments, money moves even when attention does not. This creates a culture where financial decisions are ongoing but rarely deliberate. Spending becomes ambient. Small recurring charges accumulate quietly. Because each individual payment is small, it escapes scrutiny. This fragmentation of spending reduces perceived impact. And when impact feels low, restraint weakens.